if you do what you like, even logically, if you do what you like and you are what you do, you are what you like. Like if you just compress this thing.
Yeah.
So what does it mean for me? It means that if you do what you like, the fact of doing something that you like allows you to be yourself more. And so because you are what you like, so through doing what you like, you are more yourself.
Join the journey, stay for a while.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of KohPhanCast, the official podcast of Phangan Island. This week with me, my good friend, Naan, Giovanni. Giovanni is a DJ for the past almost 20 years. He's being a music collector. He's trading jewelries. He's all around a beautiful, energetic person that has a lot of smart, amazing things to say. We talked about his journey to playing in Ozora. We talked about the darkness and the light in his life. We talked about a lot of great, huge concept in humanism. All around a beautiful conversation, and I had so much fun with you. Let's go for it. Guys, subscribe to the channel, like this video, write in the comments what you thought about the conversation, and let's get to it. KohPhanCast, the official podcast of Phangan Island. Enjoy the episode, guys. How are you, brother?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me.
Definitely, 100%. Like, I usually start this with complimenting my guests, and like you and I got familiar when we played like one after another at the Parvati night.
We met
which was a beautiful event. And
bro.
yeah,
this is you're gonna take this. So
you know me.
yeah, no, okay. Now I'll tell you because I tell you because it's like okay.
It's all good.
Okay.
You know, like. If I can take a side note for a second, the thing is that like I try to make it as vulnerable and as just transparent as possible.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm not really thinking about, oh no, this is a little bit dirty. Or,
Yeah, of course. So I'm full of it, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. My
It's
girlfriend was like, "Do you have a better T-shirt to go to do the podcast?" And like, you know what, man? Actually, I even prefer it like this. It's like how I am. So it's the same.
This is me. Yeah. And if you don't want me,
The
you
same
can
thing.
go to a different place. That's all good.
Oh yeah.
So my compliment to you is like the moment, yeah, you can take it to you,
Yeah,
put
yeah.
it like something like that, and I'm gonna do post-production after. You're gonna sound crisp and smooth.
Thank you.
So since the moment I got familiar with you on Parvati night,
Yeah.
it's like endless amount of, oh, Nani's here and Nani's there and Nani's playing there and Nani's playing there, and like, bro, you're everywhere.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if that's the
like
yeah, that's the thing, or that's what you portray, but you're doing a good job because it seems like you play at every party ever, you know, like from Ozora all the way like Europe, this, that, and that's beautiful. So it's super good to see people just doing what they love.
Yeah, you can definitely say that. You can say I'm in a I can say I'm in a very inspired period of my life in terms of how I see things, like what I like. It's very recently, not so much like, even though I'm maybe 20 years playing, almost like playing DJ, like maybe 15 years, something like this. But I got to see really in the latest years what I can bring on, what I can offer to the people, what I like, what is my passion, what I have to follow. So, and I can see and I can say also that this is a reflection of me being kind of in a period where I know what I can do, and then I can and this brings me to know better what I can do, because as much as I do it, as I get more information. But also I can tell it's definitely the combination of this plus Phangan.
Yeah,
because it's just like Phangan for me it is only one of the only places in the heart that on all the world, like where I can find myself at home. Like at home, I say there are two places in the world. One is in a Bolsena Lake in Italy, and one is here, where as soon as I put my foot on the first step on the island without knowing nobody, I'm not talking about gig, I'm not talking about music, I'm not yet, because I was just stepping for the first time on the island. I felt like this feeling of being home and being and being taken care of by the island itself, you know. And after, like, straight away, I saw like how my music is not always like this. Yeah, mainly many times sometimes I feel also my music is not so easy to understand sometimes, because I play some stuff. Usually I'm the only one who plays not Psytrance, but Psytrance part, which for me is an honor, because it's like I bring on what is my really mission, like to bring the bass, basically.
There is something about opening a space that people don't understand how important it is. You know, like if you mean it in the way of like the energetic side of things, you make sure that everyone is going into their thing like super relaxed, super calm, and that's a mission as well, huh?
Yeah, it is indeed. Also because okay, like let's say when you go play Psy, you kind of you have a kind of preset possibility of all the possibility that you can possibly play.
Yeah.
And for the opening, it's really like follow your heart, you know, and especially it's about also involving people who just arrived. So it's not really sometimes so obvious.
Yeah,
to
really
play.
wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna play this, that. Yeah. Sometimes I go even to two playlists in my mind, and then I jump to a totally different thing, because the situation is always different. For me, it's kind of a challenge, but from some point of view, I even prefer to have 10 people, and then out of these 10 people, everybody's like, what kind of music is this? And when I start to ask what kind of music is this, it means like
you got somewhere.
Well, rather than have like the double, like 20 people or 50 people, and everybody's chit-chatting, and nobody really cares about it, you know. So for me, is also, of course, I like when I have full dance floor. I like when I can be recognized, and I can be, you know, exposed in the right way, and I have the exposition that my music deserve, and everything like this. But at the same time, I'm bringing on my mission.
It touches like a different side of you enjoying your thing, because I can understand this, like totally the fact that like even if you have one person at the dance floor that you've seen that the entire set have been there with you and came to you after and told you, listen, that was beautiful, 1, 2, 3. It can touch a part of your soul that was like, okay, I touched creation.
Yeah, exactly, you know? Exactly. I had like one of the last openings that I did, not so many people because it was very early, and I can imagine, you know, like your party starts at 2 in the afternoon, and after it goes, it finishes 2 days after the same hour. So I can really understand, and it's an honor for me, you know, to be the first one. So it's gonna start with me because. And at some point, during on my set, people coming and going, and there was one guy standing in the front all the time. And of course, because it was not super crowded at the time, I could really clearly see him. And the guy after, he is like, he came and he started to ask me questions, and he was really interested, and I felt I really got to his heart. So for me, it's like this, mission completed.
Exactly.
You know? So of course, then after, I really dig to play when it's full dance floor, or, you know, like especially in the alternative stage, sometimes it's like also what energy you create, you know. Sometimes the one before you left leaves you without people, and then you call people, or, you know, it's really about waves as well, you know.
We got straight into it, but let's jump back a little bit. You said you're playing between 15 to 20 years. Let's go for the first days. Let's go for the first days. At what point did music winked at you and told you, bro, come?
Okay, so it's very, for me, kind of the point of all my life. Well, the answer that you, the question that you ask me, because okay, I come from a very classical family, like my parents, totally old school, with its benefits as well, also with some negative aspect, of course, about the discipline, about the you know, the striving, you
gotta do something with yourself.
The sacrifice, life is sacrifice, and which I learned also how not to be like this. Also, that is a kind of a reflection. But of course, totally not musical family in the sense that for them, because it was like this back, they have born in the 1949. So I'm talking about my father is alive now and he has 74 years. So I'm talking about this kind of generations. So they made a school even before the 70s. This is kind of they've been taught in the hardest way. So, and they passed me something which is also I really admire and because it's also my origin. They gave me many tools to do what I do even now. But I'm talking about a different thing now. It's like they didn't know music, and for them music was, okay, you're a musician, you can be only musician, and if you are a musician, it's because you are born in a musical family, like your father is a musician and your family is musician, but not for sure. Otherwise, music is a hobby, not even a passion, no? So for me, in the beginning, I started to do drumming everywhere. Like I started when I was 14, like drumming, and then after I started to study even percussion, but I couldn't. I was really doing it as a passion. And then at some point I realized that I want more, and that's when I got the heat from my family that was kind of not really understanding what I wanted, also because it's hard, so it's really unpredictable.
They don't see the vision.
Yeah, sometimes you also don't know what you want to do, you just want to do music, but okay, but what, and then. So at some point I really felt like the impulse, let's say, to go for my life, to show myself that I can do music, that I can live on music, and to show them as well. It was kind of a reaction, a little bit. But and so let's say at 14, I was 14 already, maybe earlier when I started to consciously wanted to start drumming because I'm percussionist. It's when I was very, very young. Then I brought that on and. With the DJ, starting to DJ, it was definitely in 2008. So I started to buy my first CDJs and I started to mix psytrance, which was the thing that got me at the time because the first time went to Boom. And so I was really impacted by
2008?
2008, my first one. So it's now it's 2020. So 17 years ago. So exactly what we said, between 20 and 50. Yeah. And so it was for me a big impact. It was totally not necessarily nice because it was so also I was so exposed in all my uncomfortability to the stuff. I all of a sudden saw that I wanted to improve on myself because I see my reflection in so many eyes around the people and stuff. And so that really changed me, impacted a lot. I decided I want to go back with this. One of the things was I went to buy myself a van and I managed to go back 2 years after at the Boom with my own van, and that changed my life also. So it kind of shaped my life. And I wanted to play because I wanted to bring music and to contribute to this psychedelic events. That then after it was not just for the psychedelic event, it was also for all this kind of magic that I could perceive, and only as magic. Now I can, of course, tell you what the different information that I got at the time. It was just it was just amazing for me. I was just super enchanted, at the time, and still I am. But also now, of course, in the time I found more rational motivation to do what I do. But I started like this, and it was with the CDJs, not even CDJs, like
whatever they had, the compacts.
Yeah, and then after I went to bass and chill out. After.
It's so important to when you do a way of 17 years. Most of those 17 years happens consciously for sure, but you don't know where you're going, like you said. Sometimes you just don't know what you're going to do with yourself. And it's so important to just walk in the dark like that. You know, not knowing where you're going, but just knowing that the pace you're doing, like as long as you're staying consistent and as long as you have patience, you will achieve your goals. Because you leave no way for others to tell you, oh no, you don't deserve it. What was the force that kept you going around? Where the consistency came from?
This is the best question. Like for me, it's a honor for me to be here because I certainly have something to say, and certainly can thank you for giving me the chance to share what is important for me.
It's my pleasure,
because it's not important only for me. I think it's useful for me, and I hope it's gonna be useful for everyone.
Yes.
So, and this is one of these things, you know. So, thank you for the question.
Absolutely.
So basically, okay, I was lost many times. And sometimes still I am, because it's up and down. It's magic. Music is hard, so it's like coming and going. But first of all, I learned that the music is always gonna be there. Sometimes I tried, I don't want to play anymore because I was very disappointed for some stupid thing happening. And I'm not gonna play anymore. And then this is impossible for me. I know that I cannot say this. I know that even if sometimes I just need to a little break or this or do that, not necessarily to be in the music or to do different instrument, different stuff, because then you can learn from one side to the other. But yeah, then I was lost because I was, as I said before, really living also the expectation of my family, you know, that you have to be someone, that you have to know where you're going, that you have to do this. And I was not doing the same accordingly, you know. So, but then, okay, it's everything kind of started to come together, you know. All my passions started to kind of find the same way to get out through also in let's say and I could bring them on all together, you know. And this is because I started to follow what turns me on in the chest. Yes. And this is the most important thing for me. Like, to follow your passion. I'm gonna tell you guys. You over there. Yeah, over there. This one. I see. Can look by there or over there. Can look there. I'm gonna tell you guys over there, like, to follow your passion, to follow your heart. This is not just a banal thing to say. Like, it changed me a lot when some friend who was asking me, he wanted to work with me, and he was like getting me with this question, like, okay, what you want to do, what you want to do that turns you on, you know. And like, think through this, like, really simple expression. It's like, okay, what all the time, if you have to do something, do it, and you see if it's something that like really gets your heart full and makes your heart burning, then do it, even if you don't know where to go, you know, because this is the way you want to go. You don't know. If you know where you want to go, it's already missing the point, you know. It's like, it's not important the destination, is important every single step, because the future is the result of what you do in the present. So if in the present you do what you like every day, the future is gonna be created accordingly. And I will say, and I would say also this, like, even logically, like, okay, all those guys, it's a little bit difficult to, like, maybe, like, it's maybe too logic, but even logically, okay, let's say, if you are what you do, you're not, you are what you eat also, you are what you think, or sometimes, but, you know, you're not what you say you do, you are what you do, let's take it like this. So you are what you do. Okay. So, and then if you do what you like, even logically, if you do what you like and you are what you do, you are what you like. Like, if you just compress this thing.
Yeah.
So what does it mean for me? It means that if you do what you like, the fact of doing something that you like allows you to be yourself more. And so because you are what you like, so through doing what you like, you are more yourself.
Yes.
So to be yourself is really connected to the amount of how much you do what you like. And so if you do what you like, you find of more yourself. And if you know who you are better, you know also what you like more. So you can kind of shape in a better way what you want to do. And this brings you to know yourself more, because in the end, if you do what you like every day, at some point you're like, I like this. I thought I really liked this, but this is even better,
Yeah.
And my life was kind of like this. I tried many times to do this. You know what I mean? So if you know and doing what you like every day is gonna help you to be yourself more.
Except if what you like is heroin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know, of course. No, this is something I wanted to say also. Usually when I say this, okay, do what you like, but I'm not talking about smoking crack, because you can also like that. But no, this is I'm talking about genuine things,
Yeah.
Sometimes we do things because you want to run away. Also.
Yeah.
And so I would say also every addition kills an ambition, and
That's one of the best depictions I've seen of this thing. But the answer of things is so like, first of all, people will say, yeah, that's subjective, that is your way, no problem. But some truths are universal.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I believe that you are what you do, because doing is the equivalent of where you put your attention.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna do where you put your attention.
Exactly.
So you are where you're gonna put your attention.
Exactly.
You are where you choose to let the energy that you have, the currency of existence, to give it to a certain point. That is who you're going to be. Consciously or subconsciously. Some people think that I'm going to focus on nothing, I'm just going to chill, but focusing on nothing is focusing on lack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
At the moment you don't focus on anything, you focus on bullshit.
I'm totally agree.
But at the end of the day, when you say, okay, this is who you are, it makes you closer to yourself. The mother of all question, brother, who are we? What is going on here? Like, what is me? Who am I? As I see it, the only thing that separates between you and me is the experiences that life got us through.
Yeah, it's a perception.
Meaning,
I would say.
exactly.
Just perceptions.
Me and you, I believe we're exactly the same prototype of a person that was just taught different things. That you're Italian, I'm Israeli, you know Italian, I know Hebrew, you grew up there, I grew there. And with the expectation of society from us, and with the experience that life got us through us, we develop this sense of who I am.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you strip all the bullshit from yourself and you just allow yourself to be this energy force of wherever we came from, who I am and who you are is just a part of this stream of consciousness.
Exactly. I would say so. I would also say, okay, first of all, it's also very important to direct the energy, as you were saying, like to direct the energy in the sense that like what you do is also the result, and what you receive is also the result. I always say it's like a gardening,
Yes.
Like you cannot complain that your fruits are just little and tiny if you didn't put water enough, or if you didn't put attention, and if you didn't care about.
Yeah.
So the fruits of what you're gonna harvest, it's like the real result of how much intention and how much effort, not necessarily effort, love, attention, intention, and this and energy you put in what you do, and after the fruits is gonna be accordingly,
I love your energy, bro. Like, you're vibrant, you're making me ecstatic. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
back to our shit.
Yeah.
You bought your pioneers, you started playing music, you wanted to play for people.
Yeah.
Guide me through the first show that you had that was like, my God, that's a thing.
Like, what do you mean? My first show or my
Your first gig? Oh,
That's a little bit of a span of that
in the first show, and then we're gonna talk about the first girl in water.
So okay, it's hard to like really say what was my first time when I was playing, like really out.
You remember the kind of music you played?
Yeah, for sure. It's because I have to. It was, yeah, for sure. It was. I don't know. Back in 2008, or it was, because some people were making a rave party, and at the time in Italy you could still call them rave, and it could be Psytrance and or techno stage on the side. Making party on the side. We're very close to my house in Livorno where I grew up, and I just went there. And so the first time I was just being a participant, and then after these people came back, and I started, because I was the only local there, I started to help them to make the party, like something that after that I started to do anyway, you know, like because it's also a form of contribution. And yeah, I had my set of the music I liked, and I was contributing with them, helping them. So we went kind of friends, and some of them they say, but if you want to play, you can play. And I'm like, okay. So I was really the last one, and it was under the sun. It was super hot, I remember, and that was my first time. And then after I moved to Spain the year after, and in Spain it was nice because this is also a very important thing to do. In case you want to go or not go in that place, go. You know, this is the thing. Like, you know, of course, not to buy heroin or crack.
Don't go buy heroin.
If you are undecided, if to travel or not to travel, if to go or not to go, go, because there is no reason like why you shouldn't lose what you're gonna find there. That is always gonna add to your experience.
And I'm gonna add on top of it: say what you want to say, express what you want to express. Tell the people you love that you love them. Don't, go.
Exactly. Yeah. So I went to Spain totally by myself. I arrived in Madrid like this. It was Erasmus at the time. I was still studying at the university, but I arrived like without knowing nobody, and so I got the chance to forget about myself a little bit, also to forget about my limitations as well, you know, and to believe in myself more, because I was totally a different person in the eyes of so many people that they saw me for the first time.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I want to play, and I forget that I just started to play, you know. So I was like, I was going to the party, knowing people from the first time, and I said, hey, you want me to play at your party? I can play, but it was like with very very little background, you know, like of experience played out in parties. Yeah. But then I just started to, you know, to believe in it, and that were when the first gigs like actually I could see I got a good feedback from the people and stuff like this. And then after, I kind of went to chill out, and for me that was the very big difference that changed my life also, because in the end you can tell everything what we said so far, what is important for me and stuff, but also we don't know what we are meant to be here, you know, what you're meant to do in the details. So I started because I wanted to play Psytrance, and I ended up being more known and being more known to the people, like with bass. And it was a natural drift that I have, and I will never change it with nothing, you know. But sometimes your will makes you think that you wanna do something, but actually it's just a mean to another kind of end, you know.
Yes, exactly.
So, I thought I wanted to play Psytrance, and then as soon as I found out with Chill Out that, because I was playing Psy, I was making the party, and then in my house I was listening to Chill Out. Then it became bass, downtempo. Many subgenres.
Spectrum,
But then I started to be attracted by it, and when I was starting to play this out, people was giving me much better feedback, because it was something that I was playing with more heart.
Exactly.
And this made also with the hang. I started to play hang as well. And so the hang was going well, the Chill Out, because I came from percussions.
Yeah.
So, and the Chill Out allowed me to put more ethnic instruments, for example, which is my beloved, is the ethnic instrument. So and then it's when the things slowly started to come together. You know what I mean? So and that was and so then I said, okay, you know, if I do what I like, if I do what I really feel here, it's also people can see this, you know.
Yeah.
And so and then so I started to dedicate myself more to that. Now I'm a little bit back also to Psytrance because and this is another important thing, and I think we kind of all the important things I can add now. It's one of the last ones. Like, okay, once you know that you are good to something, let's say you're good to play. Let's say they're good to play trumpet. Just to make a random example.
Yeah, of course.
You you start to understand why you're good, and you start to kind of dwell into this sensation of being able to express yourself through a wonderful tool, which can be the trumpet. Let's say you never cook in your life, and we say, okay, let's cook something. You never cook in your life, so you don't expect, or never have expectation, but you know that already it's not gonna be so easy to you for you to cook.
Yeah,
because you don't have experience. But if you approach whatever you do with like knowing that yourself are very good and you can express yourself with the trumpet, and this is your magic tool, and if you think about it, then you approach to kitchen, let's say, and you're gonna cook wonderful things, like thinking that you are playing the trumpet. You're not thinking to do it in the same way that you're playing the trumpet.
Let's put it in easy words.
Abstract, you know?
Let's put it in easy words, okay? You say, and I 100% agree with you, that the thing is not that you're good at the trumpet.
Yeah.
The thing is that you know that you have the ability to be good at things that you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So the moment you take into the consideration the fact that you have the force of creation inside of you, and if you choose to resonate enough with it, you will be able to do whatever you want because you know the force is within you.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful, bro.
Exactly. And it is one of the, I wish to be, good at everything, but this is not important, because as long as I express myself through, trumpet, it gives you the way, the possibility to express the whole of yourself, but the whole of yourself is already there, so if you change trumpet for kitchen, in the beginning will be a little bit hard, but the energy is still there, so yeah, that's my message also.
Fucking beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've been on the first gig, we've been on the first good gig.
Yes.
Now let's go for one of the biggest gigs.
Okay.
You remember the first time you got invited, Ozora? Boom.
Okay,
that's massive.
I can tell you, Ozora. And still, I have a little bit of goosebumps because it's the dream of my life, like literally. So, and for this, I'm really realized about it. It's like how did I do? I believe in myself, like not a lot, not a little. Just I was thinking that I could do it.
Yeah,
and then. I was already sending them some mixes that they asked me to do for Radio Ozora.
Yeah.
So I got familiar kind of with the thing. And at some point, my younger brother, who's not really playing so much, but is really like one of the closest person I have in my life. Mm-hmm. It's like, why don't you ask them to play? If they asking you mixes, why don't you ask them to play? With the simplicity of words, as simple as it sounds. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, actually, So, okay, I wrote a nice way to say this. And I wrote to the guy. And it was, I think, in September. And I was in November. And after, I think I did a meditation. I don't remember which one was. But at some point I was really meditating, and it was a guided meditation. So it was and now think about what you would like to realize in your life. I want to play in Ozora, And I remember that afterwards, I remember that I was also wishing through some meditation. And in November, I see the phone. I take the phone. I see notification. I see from this guy. Hi, I would like to know if you can play in a O, Z. I read of the Z. My phone was already like this. And I couldn't like really. I was like for 30 minutes like this.
Yeah.
My friend come. I don't manage to say nothing. And she's like, "Oh, look, it looks like what happened to you? Like what? You won the lottery?" And I'm like, "No, better. So and after that, I had all this period of okay, I can play to Ozora, you know. So I'm like, okay. This helped me a lot to give myself a context, like, okay, I can believe and like as much what I do, but if it's recognized at this kind of top international level, then it gave me also more, when sometimes it's also like this. I'm doing something, I'm not managing, I'm like, okay, think that you play Ozora, okay, and for yourself or something like this, and it gave me like kind of lot of satisfaction for myself, of course, lot of also think what I will do. I remember that when I was in Ozora first time, when I arrived in Ozora, I played on Sunday. So it was the last day basically of Ozora at from 5:30 to 8 in the morning. So it was really also tough hours. And I remember before even making my playlist, I was every day at 5:30 was in the dome actually to see what's going on about the light, about the thing.
That's
and
professional, guys.
Yeah, man, I didn't want to let me give anything on the cast. And then there was my friend Carolina Michael. Say hi, Caro. She was doing the playing the first day, high tech. So it's totally another.
Yeah.
But I find very for similarities how you prepare for us. For her also was the first time. And she was like, man, I prepared a big playlist, but half of it I followed and the other half I didn't follow. And I'm like, okay. And after I did the same, I made a very big playlist. And after a half, I decided to be brought by my heart. And in the end, it was really, for me, perfect. And
how did it feel while happening?
While happening, I was really focused because it was one of the last days. It was the 12th day I was in Ozora.
Wow.
So it was also for me like to be like focused, to be like as much as professional as I could. Also, all with the tiredness, with the 12 days on Ozora on my back. So, I just to balance in between like letting it go and don't do something not precise or something like this. But and I was listening. I'm like, oh, maybe I do the same. I did some imperfection, and after I listened to the recording, and it sounded perfect. So sometimes also it's this, what you think. Sometimes it's just too much in the mind.
Wow, man, 100%. Like
sometimes it's not saying the truth.
You can think, oh, my mix is not that and this, but when you understand that your mind is projected over everything that you do and over everything that you see yourself doing, you'll be okay. 100% there's an option that I'm taking myself too seriously.
Yeah.
That I'm thinking that everything I do is not good enough because I judge myself, because I have some insecurities in myself. So the moment you are transparent enough with yourself to understand your cons, to understand the things that are less working good for you, then you can rearrange it to like, okay, so I'm thinking like that because I have this insecurity, and I'm thinking that because I lack this.
Yeah, exactly.
So it just, you need to know how to balance yourself in those kind of things. And like based on what you said earlier, like if you know that you play the trumpet, and then you can be good at the kitchen because you're good at the trumpet. What happens to a guy that just made his lifelong dream come true? At this point, you can do whatever you want. You put enough energy, and your lifelong dream is now completed.
Yeah, well, still I can do something more. I can do something more, but and there is always another dream,
What's the next dream?
Well, for example, there are still few festivals that I wish to play where overcame, as you can know. And yeah, now this is the like Ozora. I want to do other three or four, and I don't know. Like I feel like I want to start another musical. Because I have other two or three more musical projects like that are kind of hanging in the air. And
You produce.
yeah, it's not just about producing. From one side, yeah, all started in COVID, so I didn't want to use the laptop. I started to use the loop station and some machines like the wave drum, the house, the oscillator, and some other little samplers that I have looped through the loop station.
Yeah.
So, and it's like I play the DJ, I play the drums. So I would like to bring this on, for example, to make it a little bit more consistent, as you said, in the word. And then I start to feel inspired for some other genre, because it always comes like starting collect stuff, you know. And then after, when I'm okay, I have a collection. Actually, it's a playlist, I can play it, you know. And then I would like to find the click to put everything in my nicely in my computer and start to play more genres, for example. This is another thing. Basically to keep doing what I do. It's already a good mission. Like I would like to do it better, and to bring on more musical projects, let's say. And
it sounds like from the get-go that you understood what you want to do. You've been going with it and it's working for you, and that's beautiful to see. Was there any time in your life that you were close to stop doing it, and like you think, oh, maybe it's not for me? You try going into a more like regular person kind of route. Guide me through this feeling.
Yeah, for sure. Most of my life, actually, you know, it's like this most of my life, and still sometimes it comes back, you know. But I know, like for example, last time I had a gig, you know, and some insecurity came out, and so I recognize this because it's normal, you know. So it still comes back, you know, but I don't give it weight, you know. So I actually just pass through and it disappeared, and even remember what was my insecurity, you know, at the time instead. But before it was more, okay, I don't manage to do it, so I kind of hold myself and I don't know what to do, because I want to do this, but I don't manage. So if I don't manage, what shall I do? So I try to do many things. I try to help my family, because my father had a shipping agency business. So totally, you know, like suit the thing here, you know, like totally a normal, let's say, job, which is too tight for me, and I cannot do it, even though I really respect who because everyone is his own passion. So, you know, as long as one is doing what he likes. Anyway,
except heroin.
No, but you know, in a genuine way, we said. And so, if there was moment, of course, there were moments. So what I did in this moment, sometimes I also just ran away because I felt myself scared to recognize that was my way, you know. So sometimes you prefer to think that you don't know and to run away rather than to actually recognize that, oh, come on, you have it in front of you. But even literally, you know, sometimes I had my speakers in my studio, like, let's say, there, and I was instead, you know, preferring to sit here and watch a movie, you know. This is kind of
procrastination.
And also to be alone is also something that helped me a lot. So, like, because dancing, way you can face it, like when you are alone, I'm Libra, so I'm also very social, you know, and it can be also kind of a way to escape, to be inside of the people, but to be alone helped me a lot, like to be alone facing it, sometimes not handling it at all, sometimes not managing to face it at all, but sometimes also it helped me to see what was there, and so sometimes when I was very young, sometimes I was even not consciously not doing this consciously, but anyway doing it, like okay, I don't manage to do this, okay, I do something else, and I do something else, like I don't know how to practice with this instrument. Okay, I will start to, write, because I also like writing. Okay. And after I'm like, okay, I feel so stuck with writing. Okay, I will start to produce music, And in the end, everything which you think is just a way to escape to the previous thing that you didn't know how to do, like you jump from one thing to the other. In the end, if you do what you like and if you start to follow the passion, everything actually will come together, This was the way. So instead of escaping, basically, slowly, I was kind of building little stuff. So here and there. And at some point, it kind of everything started to become, but thanks to the art.
And at the end of the day, you're thinking that maybe also the thought that like I'm escaping or this and that, maybe it's also a part of this ego side of our brain that is like, oh, you're cutting yourself some slack and you're not doing enough and you're not productive enough, and like maybe you saying that you are running or escaping is another way of the conscious mind to just steer you away from, because there's your higher self that you have inside your soul, and there's the ego part of things.
Yeah.
So the ego is trying to keep you comfortable, and the higher self is trying to navigate you towards where you need to go to learn the things that you need to be.
Yeah.
So at what point, and this meditation also is super helpful if you're meditating a lot.
Every day.
For how long now?
Well, every day, because I found out usually I was doing it in the night, and still I do it before going to sleep. I'm singing my mantras, especially when it's important journeys or important gigs. I do this in the night before, and then when I wake up. First thing I do when I wake up, I do like minimum 5 conscious deep breaths, and with closed eyes, and sometimes of course I stay there more, and after I bend forward, like for
important.
For me, like if I don't do this, I can jeopardize my
it's just kind of stupid that we have tools that we know it works, and still 98% of the human race doesn't know how to use them. Simple 5 big breaths. Simple sitting there with your eyes closed, just breathing. That's the problem, that those 5 minutes a day can change your life entirely.
Sure. Yeah, and imagine if not 5, imagine 10.
Yeah.
Imagine
10, 15, 30, an hour.
Or even imagine, and this, I'm not saying that I'm doing it every day, but imagine like you stop smoking cigarette if you're smoking, it looks like nothing, but also on the brain level, on the heart level. Or you stop drinking alcohol for a week, or I'm not saying that I don't drink, I'm not saying that, but also to appreciate the benefits that it has, to be less also intoxicated
to be able to experience stuff in different states,
Exactly.
So we do need is a very big word, but we do use drugs and things like that, and mind-altering substances to find ourselves in a different spot, and then having this ritualistic way of thinking about yourself, that when you don't do those things, suddenly you're also in a different state. So you have a spectrum to see yourself in different situations.
It really also helped me in the first part of my life sometimes, to at a therapeutic level, some experiences that I had, to really understand that I was not in my mind, and I was not my mind, and all this energy that I could feel was also my real self, and and my mind was just trying to scare me to block this thing, So then after the abuse is another thing, so and then after, because you found this message and this therapeutic thing, but just one. After one tends to repeat it, because it generates a way of escaping still, because therapeutic, I need some therapy, but actually you just need to run away, you would just want to run away. So sometimes that's when it comes to the abuse, I think, which it's always a kind of a tricky thing, But anyway, to answer to what you asked before, then we went to speaking about something else. Now you were speaking about escaping, Most of the greatest experiences in my life, for me, I found myself more when I was more away from my hometown, my origins, because I kind of needed this experience of leaving everything behind to find what I have always with me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, and after I could come back even to my hometown without feeling so much choking, so much, because I know what I'm never gonna lose, and
Exactly.
But at some point, it's also the environment that forces you sometimes to, if you're protected enough with yourself or balanced enough, that makes you run away, And sometimes I was running away from myself many times that I just left and went so many kilometers away. But it was very good for me to find myself, to find that I was seeing, that I was experiencing something that I even didn't know that this thing was existing, and like this genre of music, I didn't even know it was existing, but I listened to it, I don't know, in London or in somewhere else. And then after I found a piece of myself inside that genre,
Exactly.
So it's like you can also find yourself very far away, but to know that you are always with yourself.
A tool that is always helping me is the understanding that, like, I like to separate my mind. And again, me saying my mind is also an illusion, but to separate it to three parts. I have the things that I know, and I have the things that I know that I don't know.
Yeah.
But there is a huge part in my mind of the things that I don't know that I don't know.
No, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So even knowing that probably, I don't want to name numbers, but 60-70% of my mind is filled with things that I don't know that I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just, you gotta be humble. You gotta stop thinking, not you specifically, but you gotta stop thinking that you know everything, because the fact that you connected a couple of dots that in your mind makes sense, that this is a linear line, doesn't mean shit. You make excuses and like some sort of like explanation for things just to make it so stay comfortable. And the moment, like you say, you just believe whatever it is that I have that is mine is never leaving me. That's it. That's the bottom line. And if whatever is mine is not leaving me, that I don't need to constantly try to keep myself intact with all the things that I think is me, because what I am will never leave me, because I am who I am. So the whole stress that we put around this being someone and doing something and let's just let the story write itself.
And actually this is another point, like, for me also very important. So like kind of what you said, the more kind of you forget about yourself, the more that actually you find a way to express your real self. Because sometimes you think you are, and you go through some kind of tools, some kind of way to expressing yourself, but actually the more that I forget about this, the more that I'm actually more able to express myself. It's like you peel off what you think you are, what you think you want to be, because also wanting is the main obstacle to actually achieving it, I think. And all of a sudden you are doing what you meant to do, like maybe it's just a little bit different than what you thought you were gonna be doing. But this doesn't matter, because it's just in the mind level, So
like you said at the start, as long as you're doing what you're doing with your heart being good and your intentions are being clear and you're not judging yourself too much, the evolution will do itself. You may think you want to play Psytrance.
For example.
And everybody at the start thinks they want to play Psytrance.
Or whatever else.
But the timeline will create itself. The moment you can step away from your ego and tell yourself, okay, the whole life isn't about me. I am a player in this huge grand scheme of things. So the moment I know how to separate between me thinking that I deserve shit and instead thinking, oh, how can I add to the situation? How can I be of use, to be beneficial, to help, to give, to allow others to experience themselves? As long as I'm providing myself and as a safe space for others, I'm going to get what's mine.
This is a very good point. So for example, if I can develop also what you asked before, what I want now is to do what we said so far, and to be more of benefit of other people, to be able to keep doing this and to keep be more of beneficial for other people. You know what I mean? So it's exactly what you were saying.
And there's so many, and again, going back to the island, you know, something about this place, like you, like me, I feel at like home here more than anywhere else in the world.
That's why we're here.
There's something about this place that just is calling to people that has this sort of energy, people that wants to be part of something, people that wants to create more for others. And like, we can give 78 million reasons for why is that, but what's your reason? What's keeping you coming back here?
But I can say it can be said at many levels, no? Because from the most material level, like the sensation level, it's hot. It's a beautiful island. It's the sea. I grew up on a city which has the sea, so I know the sea, and to see the sea, it's one of the most important sensation that we always want to have. To breathe the sea for me, and to be on the island is hot, so I prefer the hot. Then you come to the level of people, you know. You can see this for everyone, like, because if you come here and you feel yourself like free, not free of beating or make violence, free just to be yourself. No, I mean free, like not free of, just lacking of respect.
Yeah,
free
of course.
to be yourself, This is a different thing.
Please.
If you feel yourself free to be yourself in a way that is respecting the others, is genuine, and how you will know? You know it because you feel it here. And life is gonna approve this through your experiences. If you do this and everybody does it in the same place, then it's like it has a kind of a spiral generator effect, so you involve and you push other people to be more free, to be like more themselves, so if I am myself in a context where I am myself and you are the same thing, and many people are having these experiences of being their self, at some point who's gonna come will definitely be touched by this at the point that he will also be, or she will also feel free to be herself or himself, so, and this is also very special for the island. And also it's as I said, I cannot almost maybe explain why after this, maybe for the crystals that they have on the island, because it's very, very powerful intelligent crystal, which is true. I find so many people that I feel like very close, like so many people that even if I don't know the person, if we didn't have so many experience in childhood or stuff, many very, in terms of frequency, statistically, like a big number of people where I already feel myself at ease, I already feel myself that we can share many things, and some of this kind of sensation, I don't have it, not even with the people I grew up with, So this is also at a very more maybe spiritual and subliminal level, that we can say this. Why? I don't know, because of all these reasons together, probably, we are here, no?
That completely makes sense. And honestly, like, it seems like you're the kind of guy to just allow himself to be, to just allow himself to exist.
I wish.
We look so free, but then the clogs of the mind is just working by themselves because we are still human. But if there's something good that we can say about this nature of humanism is that, like, the thoughts are not going anywhere.
Exactly.
So instead of trying to let them go or trying to change them, just learn to live with them. It's more important to learn how to surf the waves of change than to try and organize the situation that you live in.
For sure.
As long as you remember that this too shall pass, and when you're feeling good, it will be gone because you're going to feel like shit again. And when you feel like shit, it will be gone because you're going to feel good again. And the moment you can understand and tell yourself that everything is going to be good and everything is going to be fine and everything is going to be beautiful because we have good heart and we have good intentions and we are not trying to hurt anyone. Then again, we have no way to...
Definitely. No way to doubt.
fail.
Yeah, to doubt about yourself. Yeah, for sure. Also, it is always true. No, who was saying this? No, it's to the darkest night that you see the brightest stars.
Exactly.
You know? This in my past, I had like my darkest experience really helped me to recognize what I'm worth it as well, you know.
Exactly.
And it was also because I created these dark experiences because I needed to, unconsciously of course,
to level up.
Because I needed to go through them because there was something that I still need to learn through these things, you know. So sometimes it's also,
it's because we're human, you know. We know how to chill when everything is good, and we know how to learn when everything is shit. You know, we just need a hammer to hit it at the face to wake up and like, oh shit, things need to be changed.
It's the game of polarities, and also, so you need to experience one of the two polarity to remember about the other polarity. You know what I mean? Like you need to experience dark to remember about light, to savor.
And there is no one with the absence of other, you know. We couldn't see light with the darkness, so we can see the darkness without the light. And I want to thank you so much for this, bro. Here is an hour. This was beautiful. You're so vibrant. Your energy is so real, authentic. You gave some really good tips here, guys. So if I can give you the best tip that we said like 16 times, don't do heroin. Come on, guys. It's going way too out there. Come on, enough of the bullshit. We love you guys.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you for
Giovanni. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me. I can say I also can thank you, bro, in front of everyone who is watching.
For sure.
Thank you for giving me the for believing in myself.
Always, bro.
For to being able to trust myself and also to conduct such a interesting podcast as well, and it flew like it could have been 15 minutes for me already, you know.
KohPhanCast, guys, to a lot more to come.
Thank you.
Join the journey, stay